Hi guys, this is the reading for Libra, and that's from April the 11th to the 17th. I'm actually Libra, so Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising, so this one really resonates with me. I'm going to jump straight in with True Black as usual, and then we'll clarify with the Art Nouveau, maybe just three. I've done three a few times this reading, so we'll just see. But yeah, I'm just going to jump straight in and see what we get to. Ace of Swords, love to see that. Yeah, new start, but again, swords are all about sort of intellect and intelligence, so it's what's in your head rather than what's in your heart. So let's see what that's balanced with. Okay, it's interesting. Four of Swords is about, it's two things. One, it's about receiving a blessing, which would be great. So that's a great start to the week for Libra. Thanks very much, universe. Appreciate that. But also it's a time of solace and just kicking back a little bit, you know, because I think sometimes when you're in that zone where you can really think about things yourself with no other distractions, you know, finding 20 minutes to meditate, something really pops into your head and you go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. So it's a good time to do that this week. So there's a bit of rest and recuperation with this new beginning. I'm not sure what that's about. Again, I'm in for a busy couple of weeks from the job that I do during the day. So it'll be interesting to see how I get some solace and respite. Near past heartbreak. So again, this asks us, are we the sword or the heart? I don't think I've caused anybody any heartbreak, and no one's caused me any. So we'll see. Crucible. So that's near future. There's a test coming, and it's going to be a big old test. Some things, you know, other people aren't going to be able to cut it, but we do. We stand in that crucible of fire and come out swinging. So that's good. So we're in for an interesting week for sure. In a relationship, I would say if this was a relationship or a love reading, and it doesn't feel like that to me, doesn't resonate like that to me. But if it did for other people, something new in there. But again, you know, it's all swords at the moment, so it's a real cathartic. Yeah, it's interesting. All swords. Okay, and down at the bottom, this is the sort of the root of the matter, the unconscious. We've got the Death card, which is nothing to worry about. It's just the end of something, but very definitely the end of something. Excuse me. In a more traditional read, you know, Death rides in on a white horse and there's a priest or a bishop begging for his life. There's a young woman terrified and there's a little child. Oh, there's the king's dead on the floor and there's a little child sort of waving and going, oh, man on a horse. And in some drawings, she's holding him a flower. And he's got a flower in his hand. There's a flower down here on this drawing. And it's about, you know, growth. As things die away, it's a bit like seasons, you know. Everything falls away in the winter and starts again in the spring. So think of it like that rather than, you know, it can mean sometimes, it can mean someone passing away out of your life, but generally speaking, it's just the end of something. And then we've got Destiny. This reads differently. It's the Wheel of Fortune in a regular deck, but this one talks about this strange kind of alien creature over and above our world, and he's tying these strands of fate together, and it talks about fate being what's the word I'm looking for, something that we can't control, you know. It's fated and that's what will happen. I'm not a great believer in that, I have to say. I prefer, in the Wheel of Fortune is more about, you know, the train is in the station, jump on board, and if you don't, it'll go, you know, or you get to the station and there's 3 trains and you go, which one? You go, just get on a train. It's asking you to get on the train. The train is in the station. It's not telling you which one. It's up to you. Do you pick the one going north, one going south? Do you pick the red one or the blue one? You know, it's a Ferris wheel going round, and you really want to sit in the orange carriage. And as the orange one's coming round, you talk to somebody behind you about the weather. And when you look back, the orange one's gone. You know, do you want to wait until it comes back around, or do you just want to jump in the blue one? And I think what it does is it asks us to just jump in. The universe is always saying, you know, just jump in, see where you get to. Where you get to is, this is a bit cloak and dagger. That's not a good card. You know, the thing is, it's about gossip mongering. It's about not doing the right thing. I'm really going to have to clarify this card, because it's not something I think I do. It could be someone else. It could be you think someone else is doing this. But the way this card really explains it is it's the Seven of Swords, and that seventh sword is the biggest and sharpest, is saved for the rat, saved for the traitor. So what I would say to you is, if this is you, and think long and hard about doing it. In relationships, I would say, if you're going to break up a family because you love this person, but you stay together for the rest of your lives and they're your soulmate, then you did the right thing. If you're doing it because you can, I would say the universe isn't going to be very happy about that, and karma is a very real thing, so be really, really careful. How others see the situation, this could be a Libra trait then. We think we are worse than we are, because this card is fantastic. It's the entrepreneur card. Antlers above his head are stamina and tenacity. He's on this monolithic kind of seat. Doesn't look terribly comfortable, but it doesn't have to be, because he doesn't sit there very long. He's got the hammer, so it's, pentacles are all about physicality and doing something, rolling your sleeves and getting on with it. Don't say you're going to build a garage, that's what this does. And he's pointing at this going, see, look what I created. And again, it's just pouring off. All the stuff he's created is kind of hanging there for everyone to see. It's over his face, it's on his clothing. So it's a real card of show off isn't the right word. It's people seeing your talents, and it's the entrepreneur card as well. So that's how other people see us. We see ourselves as doing something a little bit underhand, and other people see us as this fantastic person. Can we all just agree that we're the fantastic person this month? King of Cups in your hopes and fears. King of Cups is the calm king of the bunch. This is the hard-working, materialistic one, and our hopes and fears are, I'm just thinking, yeah, I'd love to be the calm one. So when everything's kicking off, and I do think as a Libra trait, we're very, very capable of, what's the word? Being the diplomat. There you go. I think we're the most diplomatic of all the signs. So this king here, he's relaxed, he's resting, he's creating these fish as a crown out of his subconscious. The other thing he's doing that's really quite telling is you've got the predator, the squid, swimming quite happily with the fish. So again, it's about bringing those two sides together. So it's a real calm, diplomatic card, that. So there could be something going on here with the heartbreak and the crucible, this test. So, and again, we really don't know what's happening next week. I can't tell you. It's very definitely the end of something, though, but not in a negative way. I'm not seeing any negatives here. I am seeing, not quite sure what's happening next week. It is going to be quite obvious what's happening. I don't think it's one of those weeks where you go, what happened last week? And you don't really know. You go, oh, let me tell you. Monday this happened, Tuesday this happened, Wednesday this happened. But it works really, really well. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see in a more traditional layout, I've not got much room on this table, the cards sit like this, and it would go fate down to test, down to king, not fate down to test, down to cloak and dagger. So I'd like to leave that there, because I don't really want to see this card anymore. And then the final outcome for the week is the Knight of Wands. And again, the Knight of Wands, I don't know why I sideline that. The Knight of Wands, she's not got a sword, she's got a shield, so she kind of bashes her way into the situation. So she's very brash but courageous. So I think one of the things that we suffer from as Librans, as a sign or as a group of individuals doing the same thing, who knows, is we can sometimes be quite acid in our language, and we can stun people with how sharp-tongued we are. So with this, I would say, the lesson for this week is to be the diplomat, not the came crashing in and knocked the door down with the shield. It's not an aggressive one, that's why she's not carrying a sword. She's not trying to do any harm, but she is a bit of a bull in a china shop. So while it's a courageous, brash, lively energy, we do have to temper it with a little bit of diplomacy, I think. So that's how I would see that one. And card on the bottom, the Hierophant, and that's basically, there's the hive, Marcus Aurelius, famous emperor, the last of the great emperors, the last of the great Roman emperors. He said, if it's not good for the hive, it's not good for the bees. That's as simple as for me. It's a really simple card. If you're doing something that benefits you, so what? If you're doing something that benefits the team or your partner or the wider family or the area you live in, then everybody benefits, you know. And the reason this sort of mass comes down like that is it's not about the individual, you know. We don't have to keep going, oh, it was him, it was him, it was him, it was her, it was her, it was her. It's just you all got together, you know, the synergy of 2 + 2 making 5. So I think the underlying thing this week is, you know, find that greater good, find something you can do for other people. I think that'll put us in a far better state. So it's a tricky one. It's I think it's going to be an interesting week. I don't think it's going to be a quiet week. I'm not expecting it to be a quiet week, but because it's the run up to Easter and we get quite busy. I will take as many breaks as you can find. Definitely do that. Let's see if we can't get rid of this Cloak and Dagger card, because I guarantee you karma is a very, very real thing. And if you do something underhand, it's going to come back and bite you on the ass. So let's see. We've got Ace of Swords. So it's doubling down. It's the Ace of Swords. So that's what the message is this week. A new start, but, you know, swords cut both ways. Pardon me. You know, it's leaping in, and you know, people know when a sword card has been used. So let's see. Emerging understanding, clarity of thought. The sword of light and truth rises through the crown of worldly attainment, symbolizing more noble purpose than mere wealth or fame. Invoke your higher self and use your intelligence. So there you go. Let's invoke our higher selves and use our intelligence. And again, the refugee card, this is about sailing from those sort of tricky waters there into calmer seas. So are you the woman, the child, or the ferryman? But ultimately what it's saying to us is, okay, you're heading for a new destination, but you're still taking all your burdens with you. The swords are in the boat, you know. When you put your head on the pillow at night, if you haven't thought through the issues, they're just going to stay with you. So we need to keep an eye on that one. And finally, we've got the 5. So you've got the 5 of Wands. Conflict. There's some, you know, sometimes people talk about this being a training exercise. These people are learning how to fight rather than actually fighting. What I would say about any kind of conflict, anywhere at any level, is there are no winners. You know, okay, so you won, you know, in inverted commas. What did you gain when you won? Some other person's had to walk away with the tail between the legs. That's not what we want to see. We're better than that, Libra. So we're going to use our higher selves this week, and we're going to make sure that if we do want to go to a new destination, that we know that we're still taking our burdens with us, and we need to address those at some point. I would take this King and Crucible are the cards for me on this one. So I'm going to have the King of Pentacles in my head all this week, and this 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords in a more traditional deck. Let's see if I can find it for us, because it would make sense to show you what I mean. 8 of Swords. In a more traditional deck, she's kind of bound and the tide's coming in, and we've got to temper it as a, you know, be careful what you wish for. And also, you're in a situation that you're making worse than it actually is. So this card here, the one with the lava sword, is actually this one in a more traditional deck. So you see how she's, you know, she's not very happy. She thinks the tide's coming in, and, you know, the water level's going to be up by the castle, so she's going to drown. Just cut the bonds away, take the blindfold off. You know, don't wallow in self-pity. There are lots of people out there that will let you wallow in self-pity, and that leads to things like this. And we don't want that. That card's going away. We're not having any of that. Go, 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 go. So we're going to use our higher selves to rise above all of that. Yeah, whatever life throws at us next week, we are the King of Pentacles. We've got the King of Pentacles energy. Oh, and we've got the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands energy, and the King of Cups energy. So all this is higher energy to go with this sword. So be the better person next week, Libra, and I will see you next Sunday for more of the same. Take care.